Hi, Roger from Arrow here. Today I have with me
Jan Christensen from IBM, and I'm here to talk to you about IBM Storage Ceph.
So tell me, what is IBM Storage Ceph?
So IBM Storage Ceph, it's an object-oriented storage environment that IBM recently got back into our storage portfolio. So basically it came with the Red Hat acquisition. So it's now part of our storage portfolio.
Could you tell me more about object storage?
Yeah, absolutely. You can think about what's the difference between an object and a file, right? So when we look at an object, it's really an artifact inside let's say an object-oriented application. So the moment you load a file from a file system into your application, it stops really being a file and it becomes an object, which means that we can manipulate that object in many different ways. So a file and an object, they're basically interchangeable, but it depends who you talk to. So if you talk to IT operations, we'll refer to them as files, as documents, as images, as video files. But when you talk to the programmer, you don't really care if it's an image or if it's a document or whatever it is. Inside the applications, it's basically just another object that they need to handle in the best possible way.
What kind of workloads are your customers running on Ceph?
So that's an interesting question, because Ceph is a very different beast than traditional storage environment. When we think about storage environment from a SAN perspective, we think about large, beefy machines with a lot of cache and a lot of throughput, and we can easily generate several hundred gigabytes per second through one single pipe to an application that is looking for all this performance, let's say a database, or let's say a backup applications or something like that. But what if your, let's say 100 gigabytes per second is not from one single stream, one single application? What if those hundreds gigabytes per second is generated by 100,000 or million users on the internet trying to look at images on a website? Now the problem with that type of workloads is that we certainly can't rely on cache hits anymore, because all the files are scattered all over the place. We can't rely on single stream throughput, because people are watching stuff on the internet from their mobile phones or streaming a video to their television at home. So instead of a single fat stream, we got like hundreds and hundreds of, let's say, 100 kilobyte per second streams. So we have to somehow aggregate all that performance and extract that kind of performance out of these distributed environments. And that's exactly what Ceph does. We'll put all the files on a lot of machines, and we'll make sure all these machines have a lot of connections to the internet. So we're not relying on one single fat pipe, but we literally have hundreds and hundreds of lines into the storage environment to spread the workload of these. I like to think about it like it's the death of 1,000 needles, right? If you try to make a distributed workload run on a traditional storage environment, you get in trouble really quick, because it's 1,000 needle pinpoints, and that gives you zero cache hits, and it's just a difficult performance profile to generate from traditional storage environments.
How do I get started?
Well, chances are, if you have an application that is using objects, you probably already are using S3 and object storage. If you want to know, just look at your internet, your public cloud bill. If there's a lot of objects transferring in and out, you are probably already using S3. If you want to know more on how to get started from an on-prem environment where you have the control over the data yourself, you are more than welcome to contact IBM.
If you want to know more, who to contact?
I guess you can contact you at Arrow, but in Sweden we certainly have my colleague Roger.
Contact me on this address.